Ismael Kone's meteoric rise from fringe player to potential World Cup contributor was marked during his progression from recent World Cup qualifiers to last month's exhibitions. The 20-year-old has played his way into the conversation after coming of age this year and helping Canada qualify for its first World Cup in 4 decades. Could Kone be a key contributor in Qatar? Here's KJ and Ollie on the evolution of Canada's promising midfielders. We welcome you back to the show. Gentlemen, take it away.
He's still only 20 years old. Undoubtedly, I think he is the next Canadian star. We don't use hyperbole much here on this show, but a star I think he really could become, Ollie. Let's talk about Ismael Kone, still only 20, and a player that has taken over an MLS game in the playoffs and really won a game by himself. But it has been an evolution. We go back, I think, first of all, to some of the clips we played in his debut, which was the final World Cup qualifying in Panama, and it didn't go his way all the time, but sometimes you need failure in order to improve, and this is some of the clips we show here. A bit of a struggling start in his debut here as you see him in midfield.
Yeah, he was brought off at half-time in this game, and he had a really difficult time of it, and you're going to see in some of the clips here just the physicality of playing a World Cup qualifier, the lack of time and space maybe compared to what you're used to at club level. I think it's important to put this into context, though. At this point, this was back in March, obviously, he played 7 professional games for CF Montreal and 10 minutes off the bench for against Costa Rica for Canada. So to even be playing in a World Cup qualifier is absolutely remarkable. I don't think of this was a case of the occasion being too much for him or him being nervy. I just think the pace of the game went up a little bit in a way that maybe he hadn't experienced before and wasn't quite expecting. And you could see a lot of loose touches, some misplaced passes in key areas, just not quite clear enough in his decision making. And this was a difficult 45 minutes for him, for sure. Yeah,
I mean, remember, Canada, at this point, they'd accomplished what they needed to do collectively. It was a time to see what players they could do. And I think getting this first professional start for Canada was a crucial one because he's never going to forget this. He's already spoke about the ability to learn things. That's obviously a play that we don't want to see him make too often and putting his defense under pressure. But, you talk about it. This was only March, and he'd only started his first professional game this year. 2022. We're used to all these meteoric rise stories now with these Canadian players who, suddenly become, stars like Alistair Johnson again, another game today, international appearance 27 in a row since he made his debut. Let's get into what we saw with him then in the Uruguay game. And if we play this through now, there's a lot of things to like. This is not long after against the star team here in midfield. You can see Ismael Kone. Let's play this through, and as we do, I want to particular highlight something in particular and what I think we could look at the format going forward for Canada. If we can just pause it there, just go back a little bit before he spreads the ball on me. I want to show you something, Ollie, that for me, this system right here is a system you're going to see a lot for Canada in Qatar, right? You've got your back three, you've got your full back down here, which is in particular is either Hoyle or Larea, your wide left there, you've got your 3 here that are a bit of your Mavericks, and then you've got a 2. He's playing in this 2 here, which we don't expect to see him today, but when he is playing in that 2, he has that ability to get everybody on one side, and that cross-field ball pass, which could be crucial.
That's where I think he can be a game changer, particularly off the bench for Canada, is that if they're maybe in a situation where they're chasing a game and their team is sitting off a bit more like Uruguay is at 2-0 here, the game is in front of him. He has so much ability in those situations, and we see in tight spaces here as well.
Tight spaces, come straight away, plays the ball forward and looks up. He's got a bit of swagger about him. I think the way he opens his body up away, the way he passes the ball, he passes it a bit with authority as well. Players receive it. There's something about that. You can see, look at the turn right here. He receives the ball and he's turning right away, straight away driving forward and not worrying about it. And look how he gives the ball again. It's that ability to turn quickly and move forward as he goes forward and dominates midfields.
And the big progression you see from the Panama game is his ability to make those decisions quickly, right? Yeah. It's one thing to be tall and athletic and have brilliant technique and all the things that Ismael Kone has. If you can't use it, then it's not good for much, right? And he's starting to develop, I think, that brain to make the right decisions and make them quickly at the international level.
He certainly is. And other players are understanding, when you play with Eustáquio, they're understanding that he can play the ball quickly now, and he's thinking quicker as well. That's what scouts are looking at already, the ability to think quick and play quick here.
It's Eustáquio and Davies, right? The 2 best players, the 2 quickest minds on the team. And Kone's right there in terms of that wavelength. That is such an encouraging thing to see, I think, when you're talking about two top-class players like that.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's got the ability to recover very quickly there and play the ball back as well as he sees it. Good with his back to goal as well, very comfortable as he moves his way through midfield. And then we've got something this as well, which is we picked out in this as well during the game, but this is fantastic.
I mean, he's on the edge of his own 18-yard box there, on the edge of the D. 3 guys around him putting pressure on him, and just look at the confidence here to take that out of trouble. And then after that as well, he's not just going to put that into for Theo Corbeanu, he's going to set him away. Like, there's not many players, I think, have the confidence and the comfort in that kind of situation, let alone a first-year pro to pull off something like that.
John Herdman refers to this team as New Canada, but within New Canada, we're getting new Canadians because they're playing with swagger and intensity, right? This is what we're seeing now. This is a player that's hardly had any caps, and then he's playing games like that against world-class players in midfield, like Valverde and others, and the ability to control the ball. This is why the sky can be the limit for this player, and why I think we're going to get it into our post-game show, but why he can be trusted to play big-time minutes at the biggest competition in the world.
And you go back to that Panama game as well, and you see, you know, John Herdman does identify these guys, right? I think it's the same with Johnston. It's been the same with a few. When he sees a player that he sees real potential in, he's going to put them into a situation early. He's going to invest in them and grow that player. And now it's starting to pay off in a player that you could see play on the pitch in Qatar. Yeah,
I think we're definitely going to see him in Qatar. And do we trust him to start? I think this is a big game for him today, right? Again, with Piet and Kay in behind him, he's got a little bit more coverage. I love the fact that he can be a maverick, get into make those runs, and playing with someone like Osorio today as well, where he can make those runs into the final third. We saw it in the playoff game for Montreal when he scored the crucial goal against Orlando. He has the ability to think quicker and reach the final third as well. So we're not looking at a 6 here, Ollie. I think we're looking more of an 8.
No, and again, I just think in games where we're probably going to see Canada chase a game at some point, we're probably going to see them go behind against a team like Belgium and Croatia, right? And you need players who can come off the bench and potentially impact things, potentially get Canada back into a situation like that as difficult it's going to be as against that level of opponent. And I think Kone is a gift, right, in terms of the weapon he gives you, that range of passing, the ideas, just the willingness to try things, I think, that other players won't. He's going to be a special talent down the road, but that's already there, I think, in this game.
Yeah, credit Wilfred Nancy, who has developed this player at Montreal, has been a brilliant mentor for him already, given him the opportunity to play the games, then withdrawing him a little bit. Samuel Piet's become an on-field mentor. He gets to play on the pitch with him today. Piet was almost a substitute in his shadow for a while. Then he came back like all great professionals did and said, I'm taking your spot. Then he found a way to get them on the pitch together. They won significant MLS games and big-time minutes. We played big minutes in the playoffs as well. Arguably one of the best teams MLS has created within Canada as well. So he's a star, no doubt about it. He might not play another MLS minute, but he's going to play in the World Cup. And we love the fact that he's Canadian. Ismael Kone, the bright star for Canadian national team.
All right, well, there's a lot of names we're being introduced to here for some people, maybe the first time, but for others, you already know the name of Joel Waterman. After 1 year in the CPL playing with Cavalry FC, he became the first player in that league to make the jump to Major League Soccer. And while playing with CF Montreal, he caught the eye of John Herdman. He's now been called into his 5th national camp. He's still looking for his first cap, but that has not deterred him from setting goals of making the World Cup roster.
Something that surprises me every time these kind of things happen. Just really blessed to be here and get a call, especially at this time with one more window before the World Cup. So I haven't been here for about a year, but I'm really happy to be in. And it's just honestly hard work from where I came from, and just opportunities that came my way, and I've just taken advantage of them. I think it's just seeing if I perform against the likes of, Fonzie and Joe David. I think, if I can defend those guys, I'm in a pretty good spot. So it's just testing myself against, some of the best strikers in the world. They've told me that they want to see me in those types of environments, and I'm really excited just to keep training. And whether I get game time or not, I think I'm just here to be a part of the brotherhood and just see if I can do my job and give the team in any way, shape, or form, my contribution and my value as a player. Everything I've worked for not only the last 3 years, but my whole life, to wear that jersey and to get that first cap. That's what I'm chasing, and what incentivized me to play so well this year. So I still got a lot more to do, a lot more work to do, but I'm excited for it. I think I've hit every Canadian ranks from, university to PDL to everywhere. So it can be done. Obviously now with the CPL, we needed our own domestic league. So for me to hit every rank in the Canadian football, kind of channel there, it shows it can be done. And hopefully I can just be an inspiration to guys and give them advice to how I kind of went through the journey. And there's a lot more coming along the way, I'm sure.
We'll see if dreams do come true and find out if Waterman will be a part of Herdman's final roster, because the roster reveal will happen this Sunday, November 13th in the morning. Be sure to join our YouTube channel, youtube.com/OneSoccer, because we will have a live reaction show taking you through all the players who will be going to Qatar.